One day, down on the farm, Duck had a wild idea. I bet I could ride a bike, he thought. He waddled over to where the boy parked his bike, climbed on, and began to ride. At first, he rode very slowly, and he wobbled a lot, but it was fun.
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Duck rode past Cow and waved to her. "Hello, Cow," said Duck. "Moo," thought Cow. But what she thought was, "A duck on a bike? That's the silliest thing I've ever seen."
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Then Duck rode past Sheep. "Hello, Sheep," said Duck. "Bah," said Sheep. But what she thought was, he's going to hurt himself if he's not careful.
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Duck was riding better now. He rode past Dog. "Hello, Dog," said Duck. "Woof," said Dog. But what he thought was, that's a mighty neat trick.
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Then Duck rode past Cat. "Hello, Cat," said Duck. "Meow," said Cat. But what she thought was, I wouldn't waste my time riding a bike.
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Duck pedaled a little faster. He rode past Horse. "Hello, Horse," said Duck. "Nay," said Horse. But what he thought was, you're still not as fast as me, Duck.
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Duck rang his bell as he rode toward Chicken. "Hello, Chicken," said Duck. "Clip, clip," said Chicken. But what she thought was,
Watch where you're going, Duck.
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Then Duck rode past Goat. "Hello, Goat," said Duck. "Ma," said Goat.
but what he thought was, I'd like to eat that bike.
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
and rode past Pig and Pig. "Hello, pigs," said Duck. "Oink," said Pig and Pig, but what they thought was, "Duck is such a show-off."
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Then Duck rode no hands past Mouse. "Hello, Mouse," said Duck. "Squeak," said Mouse. But what he thought was, "I wish I could ride a bike just like Duck."
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Suddenly, a whole bunch of kids came down the road on bikes. They were in such a hurry that they didn't see Duck. They parked their bikes by the house and went inside. Now, all the animals had bikes. They rode around and around the barnyard. "This is fun," they all said. "Good idea, Duck."
Have you ever seen a duck on a bike? I wonder what it's like to see a duck on a bike.
Then they put the bikes back by the house, and no one knew that on that afternoon there had been a cow, a sheep, a dog, a cat, a horse, a chicken, a goat, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a bike. The end. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Alexander had a very bad day. Nothing would ever go his way. Stop now, everyone, not have fun.
At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Miss Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get to sit by the window, I'm going to get car sick. But no one even listened. I could tell this was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Alexander had a very bad day. Nothing would ever go his way. Stop now, everyone, I'm not having fun. Australia late for me.
At school, Miss Dixon liked Paul's picture of a sailboat better than my picture of an invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Alexander had a very bad day. Nothing would ever go his way. Stop now, everyone, I'm not having fun. Australia
red sprinkles on top. Guess whose mom forgot to pack dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Alexander had a very bad day. Nothing would ever go his way. Stop now, everyone. I'm not having fun. Australia's a place for me.
That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'll be in Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. While I was punching Nick for saying that I was a crybaby, my mom came back with the car and she scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everybody, but no one answered.
Alexander had a very bad day. Nothing would ever go his way. Stop now, everyone. I'm not having fun. Australia's a place for me.
So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes, but then the shoe man said, we're sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but you can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with the copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk. I was careful except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with the phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Alexander had a very bad day. Nothing would ever go his way. Stop now, everyone. Stop having fun. Australia's a place for me.
There were lima beans for dinner. I hate limas. There was kissing on TV. I hate kissing. My back was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse light had burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony and not with me. It's been a terrible, horrible, very no good, very bad day.
Alexander had a very bad day. Nothing would ever go his way. Stop now, everyone. I'm not having fun. Australia's a place for me.
My mom said some days are like that, even in Australia. The village of Algate was quiet and tidy, and nothing surprisingly ever happened there. Everything had a place, and everything was in its place. Everybody knew why things happened, and everything happened just as it was supposed to. Nothing surprising ever happened because nothing surprising was allowed to happen. That way, said the people of Algate, with satisfaction, you always know where you are. One morning, in the center of the village, a strange tree appeared. It had had not been there the night before, but it was there this morning. It was a small tree with bark that shone like silver, and round golden leaves that twinkled in the sun. And under every leaf there hung what looked like a chocolate cookie.
Once upon a time, in the village of Dink, there appeared a tree in the still valley, blowing from the came from the silver night. Its bark was silver, golden leaves that twinkled under every leaf.
A girl named Meg was the first to see it. Her window tucked under the heavy thatch of her house faced the square, and when she peeped out of the window early in the morning, there stood the tree. Meg got dressed quickly and ran down to the square. She walked round and round the tree, and then she went to find her mother. "Mother," she said, "is it all right if I pick a cookie?" Her mother was bustling about in the kitchen, frying eggs and toasting bread. "You mean pick out a cookie, dear," she said, "and not before breakfast." "No, I mean pick one. There's a cookie tree in the village square." Her father had just sat down to the breakfast table. He began to laugh. "What a good imagination my little girl has." "Well, come and see," said Meg.
Once upon a time, in the village of Dink, there appeared a tree in the center town, blowing from the came from the silver night. Its bark shone like silver, golden leaves that twinkled under every leaf. A chocolate cookie.
When her father and mother saw the tree, they blinked. "It wasn't here last night," said her mother. "Where on earth did it come from?" "Maybe a magician sent it," said Meg. "Maybe it's a present to the village." But her parents weren't listening. "Why should a tree bear cookies?" said her father in a worried voice. "What can it be for?" "I don't know," said Meg, "but can I eat one?" "Certainly not," said her father. "They may be poisonous. I'll go back and call the mayor." The mayor was a brisk and lively little man, and he was briskly and livelily trimming his beard. He looked in the mirror with his head on one side and sniffed away, and suddenly he saw Meg's father looking over his shoulder. He gave a jump and cut off too much beard on that side. "Now see what you've made me do," he said crossly. "I hope you've got a good reason for startling me at this hour, or any other hour," he added. "You won't believe me," said Meg's father, "but there's a tree covered with cookies in the village square."
Once upon a time, in the village of Dink, there appeared a tree in the silver town, blowing from the came from the silver night. Its bark shone like silver, golden leaves that twinkled under every leaf. A chocolate cookie.
"Who left it there?" cried the mayor. "I don't know," said Meg's father, "but you'd better have a look at it." The mayor put on his red gown and his golden chain and hurried out. By the time he got to the square, quite a lot of people had gathered. Some of them pointed and some of them laughed. Many looked worried and whispered together. Morgan the miller had come from his mill, dusting flour off his thick arms. "It's a joke," he shouted, roaring with amusement. "'Tisn't natural," groaned Basil the butcher. "Ghostly, that's what it is." "A warning of trouble to come," said old Miss Gape the grocer, shaking her head. Children had squeezed between the grown-ups. They stood beside Meg, peering and giggling. looking with delight at the silver tree with its golden leaves. Meg's friend, Janet, said, "What happened? Did somebody plant a cookie? Is it yours?" A big boy named Con said to Meg, "I'll trade you my knife with the bone handle for it." "Can we climb it?" asked a little boy named Dylan. "I think a mad magician sent it," Meg answered. "I think it's a present to the village." All the children nodded to each other. That explained everything.
Once upon a time, in the village of Harrington, there appeared a tree. It listened to the sound. One way where it came from, it simply appeared to light. Its body shone like silver, golden leaves that twinkle, and under that tree, a bee.
"As for me," growled Fin the Fat, turning his back on the tree, "I don't believe in it, and therefore I will not discuss it." On every side, people began to argue. Some said one thing and some another. Selwyn, Alwyn, and the mayor and Sir Owen put their heads together and began talking excitedly. The children moved closer to the tree until they were all around it in a ring. Meg put out a finger and stroked the silvery bark. The smallest children stood on tiptoe to watch. The bigger ones looked at each other out of the corners of their eyes. Meg took hold of the smooth trunk and gave it a little shake. The leaves whispered and the chocolate cookies rattled. The boy Con put his hands on the trunk and gave it a big shake. Other boys and girls stretched out their arms and helped him. Down fell cookies, pattering softly on the cobblestones with a noise like many bare feet. Sir Owen drew his sharp sword. He stepped forward. His eyes became round with astonishment. "What tree?" he said. "There was no sign of it." The cobblestones were bare and smooth. Only a few crumbs rolled in the breeze. "What has become of it?" gasped the mayor. Rows and rows of widely grinning children looked at him without saying anything. "Where has it gone?" "Hey, speak up," bellowed Sir Owen. "Please, sir." "It just quietly folded up smaller and smaller, then disappeared," said Meg. "After we ate the cookies," added her friend Janet. But what was it for?" "Everything must be for something," stammered the mayor. The little boy Con stuck out his tongue and licked chocolate off his lips. "That was what it was for," he said. "Somewhere a smiled with satisfaction. The end.